So you're watching Stranger Things and suddenly you're like, crying? Over kids playing Dungeons and Dragons in a basement? And you can't explain why it hits so hard. Here's the thing. That show isn't just reminding you of the 80s. It's actually rewiring how you remember them. And there's some wild psychology behind why it works so well. Let's break it down. The show doesn't just throw random 80s stuff at you. Every single object, every song, every detail is chosen to trigger a specific memory. The walkie-talkies, the bikes, the arcade, even the way the phone looks on the wall. And here's what happens. When you see something from your childhood, especially something sensory like a sound or a texture, it doesn't just remind you. It actually reactivates the neural pathways from when you first experienced it. So when you hear that synth music, your brain isn't thinking, oh, that's 80s music. It's literally accessing the feeling of being a kid hearing that music for the first time. That's why it feels so intense. You're not watching a show about the 80s. You're temporarily back there. Your brain can't tell the difference. But there's another layer, and this one's about connection. Stranger Things created something psychologists call collective effervescence, which basically means shared joy. When you watch it, you're not just remembering your childhood. You're remembering it with millions of other people who had the exact same bikes, played the same games, heard the same songs. And that shared experience makes the nostalgia way more powerful. Even people who didn't grow up in the 80s feel it, because the show is so detailed, so immersive, that it makes them feel like they were there. This is why there's entire communities built around this show. People dressing up, creating 80s nights, hunting down vintage stuff. It's not just about the show anymore. It's about feeling connected to something bigger. A time, a vibe, a shared memory. But here's where it gets deep. When you watch Stranger Things, you're not just remembering who you were as a kid. You're reconnecting with that version of yourself. Think about it. The 80s were formative for a lot of people. That's when you figured out who your friends were, what you liked, what scared you, what excited you. And watching the show brings all that back. Not just the memories, but the feelings. The version of you that existed before adult responsibilities, before everything got complicated. There's a psychological comfort in that. In a world that feels chaotic and overwhelming, the 80s feel simpler, more innocent, more hopeful. So when you're watching these kids fight monsters and ride bikes and play D&D, you're not just entertained. You're processing your own past. You're integrating those memories into who you are now. And for a lot of people, that's actually healing. And here's the wild part. Stranger Things isn't just showing us the 80s. It's actually changing how we remember them. Look around. The whole aesthetic is back. Synth-pop is everywhere again. Fashion from that era is trendy. Other shows and movies are copying the vibe. The show didn't just tap into nostalgia. It created a new version of it. A curated, heightened, almost mythological version of the 80s. So now when you think about the 80s, you're not just remembering what actually happened. You're remembering it through the lens of Stranger Things. And that version, it's sticking. It's becoming the cultural memory of that decade for an entire generation. So yeah, Stranger Things isn't just a show about the 80s. It's a show that's actively shaping how we feel about them, how we remember them, how we pass that era on to people who never lived it. It tapped into something way deeper than nostalgia. Tapped into identity, connection, the need to feel like we're part of something that mattered. And honestly, that's pretty powerful for a show about kids fighting demogorgons. Do you feel this when you watch it? Does it hit different for you? Let me know. If this video helped you or made you think, hit the subscribe button for more content like this. Your support really helps the channel grow. I'll see you in the next one.